Hi everyone, it's Darby with rejoiceandcreate.com, and this is the project I'd like to share with you today. Now it looks like a beautiful box, and it is made with a beautiful foil embossed Year of Cheer designer series paper, but it's actually much more than that. It's passing on of a tradition that many families participate in throughout the Advent season. It's an Advent wreath made with an explosion box. Now, this is a beautiful tradition that many families participate in. There are 4 weeks, and for each of the Sundays before Christmas, a candle is lit and some prayers are said to prepare you for the coming of our Lord and Savior. The first week is hope, we pray for. The second week is peace. The third week, because we're more than halfway there now, it's the joy, Gaudete Sunday. And of course, the last Sunday before Christmas is love, because love is about to come down to us. And it's traditionally made with 3 weeks are purple. The first week, the second week, and the fourth week are purple or violet. And that third, joyful week, is made out of pink. It's usually a pink candle. And I thought that it'd be perfect for the in colors this year because fresh fig is such a beautiful purple color, and pink pirouette is just a really nice pink color. Now the base is made with a piece of cardstock that is 8 inches square, and this one was made with chocolate chip. For this demonstration, I'd like to start with one that's early espresso. And of course the top was made with that beautiful Year of Cheer designer series paper, and you start with a piece that's 6 inches square. But before we prepare the box, we're going to actually prepare the candles, because we need 3 candles that are wrapped in purple and 1 candle that's wrapped in pink. So let me clear this out and we'll start with our candles. Okay, now these candles I purchased at IKEA. They're approximately 1.5 inches diameter. And let's see, a little over a half an inch, maybe 5/8 of an inch tall. And I'm going to wrap them, and for the first, second, and third weeks we need something that's purple or violet, and I'm using about a 5.5 inch piece of fresh fig ribbon. And for the third week, which is Gaudete or Joy Sunday, I'm using a piece of pink. Tear and tape really works well for this because I just plopped it right down. On each of them, and then I just put it around the candle. Alright, so take one edge, and I lined it up just under the top, and bring it around, lining it up just under the rim of the top of the candle. Alright, when I get back around, I just used a sharp pair of scissors, cut it off, and just overlapped it a little bit on itself. Okay, and that's our pink one. Alright, and then I went ahead and put the fresh figs on for the 3 purple ones that I need. Alright, so our candles are done. We have 3 purple ones and 1 pink one. Alright, let's do our box. Let's start with the base. This is an 8x8 inch piece of early espresso cardstock, and we're just going to score it at 2 inches all the way around. Alright, we have just a little bit more scoring to do on the base, but we'll do that with a ruler in just a moment. Alright, now the top is the 6x6 inch piece, and what I did was I just used a little bit of a shim, which was a piece of cardstock, on the side there, just to bump it out a little bit, because I wanted to use a 6x6 inch piece, and I wanted to fit over my base. So let's go ahead and score it at 1 inch all the way around. And you make sure that the cardstock butts up against the shim and doesn't slide under it, and that will push it out just enough to make it fit nicely over the base box. Okay. So we just have to score the corners of our explosion box. And if you can see the score lines, The score lines cross right there, and we're just going to score from where these intersect out to the corner. So let's go ahead and score from the intersection of the score lines out to the corner. And we'll do that on all 4 corners. Now the last thing we need to do to get the base ready is we're just going to cut from that 2-inch score line from one side across the corner to the 2-inch score on the other side. We're basically just cutting that one triangle off the corner. And I'll just use a sharp pair of long scissors and it makes it easy. Oops. I have projects everywhere. One more to go. Alright, so now fold and burnish your score lines. And go ahead and pinch those corner ones in, and that forms the box. I'll go ahead and burnish those as well. So pinch it in to the corners meet, and go ahead and burnish. And last set of corners. Alright, so that's how our base of our box comes together. Let's go ahead and make the top. For the top, we just fold and burnish the score lines nicely. This paper is so nice and beautiful. Take a pair of scissors. What we're going to do is we're going to cut straight up one side of that score line and just notch in a little bit from the other side, making just the basic box. And we'll do that on both sides. Alright, so we'll just turn it over. We're going to use some fast fuse or another strong adhesive. And go ahead and put them on the tabs. Alright, and go ahead and line the corners up and put them together. Alright, let's bring our box base back in. And what happens is you push up those and the top just goes on to hold the top on, and it fits very nicely. For the center, the Peace on Earth, I used the Carols of Christmas Peace on Earth. I stamped it in cherry cobbler, and then I cut it out in the largest of the stitched shape framelits, the circle. Backing behind it is a piece of cherry cobbler that I cut out with the largest of the scallop circles from the layering circles dies. Now on each cluster, and when I refer to a cluster, I'm going to refer to this one side that's right underneath the candle. For each of the clusters, I used a banner, and this is a white banner from the bunch of banners. It's just this die right here. And then I used some dies from the Pretty Pines framelit set. I cut these out of old olive. I used the 2 shorter pine boughs. And then I used these 2 sprigs. It might be a mistletoe, but I used it more as a coloration of a berry because I cut those out of cherry cobbler. And then to complete them, I used the triple leaf punch. And I used 2 of those. And I also cut these out of old olive. You know, certainly you can use any color of the green you would like, and you can mix and match the greens as well. That would look very pretty. I used the labeler alphabet to stamp the prayers for each week: hope, peace, joy, and love. And I used fresh fig for the 3 weeks that are the purple, fresh fig 1, 2, and 4. And I used pink pirouette for the 3rd week, which is Gaudete or joy. So let me show you how I prepared one of the banners, and then we'll put our wreath together. Let me move this over for a moment, because you can see that they're tucked out of different sides. So 3 of them were stamped on the left side, but the 1st week, because it showed the banner towards us, I stamped it on the right side. So let me do that one first. So this is Hope. Alright, so I have fresh fig. Put that right here, and I'll just start with because we're stamping on the right side of the banner, I'm starting with the E. So once I stamp my letters, I'll take one of my sponges and I'll just go ahead and sponge the sides of it. Alright, so that's how I did the banners. I'll make all the rest of them and I'll be back in a moment. So I finished all the banners, and you can see that the hope will go on the right side because that will peek out towards me when they open it up. And then the peace, the joy, and the love are on the left side because they can be seen coming off of the left side of from under the candle. Alright, so let me show you how I started putting things together. So we'll start with our box base, and we'll start with the Peace on Earth and the cherry cobbler. I'll go ahead and use some fast fuse to just adhere one to the other. And then I use some dimensionals just to pop it up a little bit from the bottom of the box. Alright, we'll try to eyeball that one, but I'm putting it in the center of the bottom. Alright, the next thing, actually I didn't do it in this order, but I thought it'd be a better thing to do. To make it look more like a wreath, in between the clusters, I actually used one of the tri-leaf punches, cut the individual leaves off, and layered them in each corner of the folds. So I punched out an extra one for each of the corners. I cut them off the stem. And I also used a 1/4 inch punch, and I punched out some cherry cobbler to make it look like berries. And I used those in each one of the corners to kind of make it continuous to look like a wreath, because it's supposed to be continuous and never ending. I used some glue dots to adhere them, and you want to put them on the corner so they don't interfere with the folds. I can see the score lines right there, and I'm going to snug it right into the score line. And I kind of mixed them around. On one corner I put the skinny one into the middle. On another corner I put some of the fatter ones into the middle. And then as well with the berries, sometimes I put it on one of the leaves, sometimes I put it up over here on the fold. And you can see when it folds in, because you did not cover the score lines or the fold lines, it won't interfere with that. Alright, so let me finish the other 4 corners, and then I'll show you how I did one of the clusters. I used a strip of fast fuse, so there would be some instant grab to some of these die cuts, but I wanted to use the glue, and actually I used a little bit more glue, as you see, as I start stacking, because that will hold it for the long run. So the first thing I did was kind of put these off towards a corner, and you want to make sure that you're not, when you put these down, you want to make sure that they don't go over any of the fold lines or the outside, because you don't want them to interfere with the movement of the box. Okay, I'm going to put that one up like that. And I'm actually going to cut off a little bit of the bottom on this one and put this one over like that. Okay. Now let me stack a little bit more glue on top. And this is under where the candle will be, so I'm not afraid to use a lot of glue. If the stems stick out a little bit, go ahead and cut those away as well. And let me put that this way a little bit. And I'm sticking this one to go out that way. Okay. Let me stack a little bit more glue on there. This is glue intensive. And then I'm going to go ahead and put these on there last and make sure they stick. Put a little bit on this one, just make sure it's in the right place. All right. I'm going to put that one up that way. And just arrange them how you think it would look nice. And I'm going to hold it down for just a minute while everything kind of grabs on. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is go ahead and put the banner. So right under where the candle's going to go in the center, I'm going to put a lot of glue right there so it'll stick down everything. When you put the hope out, make sure that it doesn't go over any of the fold lines as well. Alright, so let me hold that down for a minute. And we're going to let that dry completely before we stick our candles in. And remember, the first week is hope, the second week is peace, the third week is pink, and it's the Gaudete, the joyful week, and then the last one is love. So let me finish those and I'll be right back. I finished all the clusters and put the right banner on them, and now I'm going to set it aside and let it dry for probably about 20 to 30 minutes. So I want to make sure it's really stuck. In the meantime, let me bring back my lid and I'll decorate that. Alright, for the lid I also used a couple of pine boughs, 2 of the triple leaf punches, and 2 of those branches that remind me of, I guess it's not really berries, but they kind of remind me of berries, but I think it's mistletoe. But it actually looks a lot like the branches that are on the Year of Cheer paper. Alright, so again, right in the middle, I put a couple of strips of fast fuse just to catch things quickly while I put the rest of my things on. Now let me put my other one over here because I'll angle it the same way. And I put the 2 pine branches up to the left top. Alright, I think I put this one on next. And because my circle banner is going to be there, I want to make sure they all stick out well. Let's see. Let's put this, because my sentiment's going to be there. Alright, I want to stick that one up over there. Make sure that sticks down. Okay, this one kind of comes up over this side. I wanted a cluster up to the left, and then I wanted a couple down to the right too. But what I did was I went ahead and attached these together. I have the tidings of comfort and joy, and I used some fast fuse on the back of that. And again, I used dimensionals to pop it up. And I put it right in the center. Get that right in the center. And then I tucked these last 2 little sprigs out from the side. Wherever my dimensionals didn't hit is where they kind of came out. Now the clusters on the wreath have had a chance to dry about a half an hour, and now it's time to put the candles on. I usually put the pink one on first, which is actually powder pink. I don't know if I've been calling it pink per while, but it's actually powder pink, one of the in colors. And how I did that was I used dimensionals it seemed to stick to both sides, both the paper and the candle pretty well. And what I did was I just lined them all the way around like a rim. Oops. And then go ahead and get the papers off. All right. I looked to see where my seam was, and I put it towards the back because the person will be viewing it this way according to the sentiment. And then right in the center there, I pushed it down. And because I gave it a chance to dry, it seems to hold on pretty well. And let me go ahead and do that to all of them, and I'll be right back. So that's my project for you today. An explosion box with an Advent wreath inside. And I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed sharing my traditions with you. A couple notes though, if you have trouble getting the dimensionals to stick to the bottom of the candle, you might want to wipe it with some rubbing alcohol and let it dry. It may be that the oils from your fingers have made it a little bit slick, but if you rub it with the rubbing alcohol and let it dry, this should stick like a charm. Another thing is that one of the last things I did was just made a little bit of a reminder for the recipient not to burn the candles unattended, just to remind them that they should always be there when they're burning candles. And I also wanted to try to make one where I could use the battery-operated tea lights, but I have not figured out yet how to get them to stick there but still be able to switch the light on, because the switch is usually on the bottom. Any thoughts? I'd love to hear them. If you please put them in the comments below. I'd love to send these to some of our nursing home residents so they can enjoy the Advent season as well and prepare themselves. So if you can think of a way that we can get that tea light stuck there but still be able to switch the switch on the bottom, that would be awesome. But I've enjoyed sharing this with you, and I hope you enjoyed it as well. Please subscribe because I'm trying to share 2 videos a week until Christmas time, and we're getting to the goodies, gifts, and treats. And I can't wait. So if you need any more information, please go to my website at rejoiceandcreate.com. And until we meet again, I hope your days are blessed.